Beyond rainbow hills and silver rivers, there lay an extraordinary meadow. It was called Sunny Valley, because the gentle sun always shone there, and the rain watered the earth only at night, so no one would get wet. But the most wonderful thing of all was that the flowers here could talk. Yes, indeed, they sang, argued, laughed, and even shared secrets with one another when the breeze rustled through their leaves. Every morning, the meadow buzzed with lively commotion. "Rose, move a little to the left, you're blocking my sunlight," grumbled the blue cornflower, stretching its delicate petals. "Oh, what a beautiful day it is today," chimed the bellflower, swaying on its stem as if trying to ring an invisible bell. "Hush, hush, I'm still sleeping," mumbled the drowsy violet, hiding beneath its leaves. But one morning, something unusual happened. Little Daisy, the kindest and most curious flower in the meadow, made a suggestion. "Let's hold a flower parade. Everyone can show off their beauty and share what they're proud of." "A parade? How boring," snorted the proud rose, adjusting her crimson petals. "I'm already the most beautiful one here, and I'm probably too small for a parade," whispered the timid violet. But Daisy didn't give up. She believed that together, they could create something wonderful. After all, if the flowers united, their beauty would shine even brighter, and their friendship would help them overcome any challenge. And so began the story, a tale of how even the most different inhabitants of Sunny Valley learned to be friends, help one another, and understand that true love lives not in bright petals, but in a kind heart. Get ready, for you're about to witness real magic. Daisy, not losing hope, began to persuade her friends one by one. The first to agree was gentle Lavender, who could soothe even the fussiest buds with her sweet fragrance. "I'll sing a lullaby for everyone, so no one feels nervous," she offered, her purple blossoms shimmering like tiny stars. But then disaster struck. Rose, who took such pride in her scarlet petals, suddenly noticed they were starting to fall. "Oh no! What's happening to me? I'm supposed to be perfect," she cried, desperately trying to gather her petals. Daisy quickly rolled closer on her slender stem. "Don't cry. It was just the mischievous wind brushing against you. Let's gather them together." And so they got to work. Dandelion joined in, using his fluffy parachutes to catch the stray petals, while Mint shared her healing sap to help Rose glow again. "Thank you," whispered Rose, blushing even deeper. "I never knew you were all so kind." Meanwhile, Violet kept hiding further beneath her leaves. "I can't do it. Everyone will be watching me," she trembled. But then Bellflower chimed in, swaying so merrily that his blue skirts twirled in a dance. "Dear Violet, I'll ring right beside you. If you feel scared, just listen to my song." He sang a melody like a laughing brook, and little by little, Violet peeked out from her shelter. Her purple eyes sparkled, and tiny fireflies flickered around her, as if nature itself was cheering her on. "And what about Sunflower?" He drooped his head sadly. "I'm supposed to always face the sun, but today it's hiding behind the clouds. How will I show my golden heart?" "Don't be sad," chirped the daisies, forming a circle around him. "We'll be your rays," holding each other's leaves. They gently turned Sunflower toward where the sun would soon appear. And, oh, miracle! The clouds parted, and light bathed the meadow. The parade began. The flowers lined up, each shining in their own way. Rose admitted that beauty wasn't just in petals, but in kind deeds too. Violet danced with Bellflower, and everyone gasped at her grace. Sunflower told how his friends had become his true sunshine. Even Dandelion set off a firework of floating fluff, while Mint treated everyone to refreshing dew tea. And Daisy, standing at the center, whispered softly, "See? When we're together, even an ordinary meadow becomes magical." After the wonderful flower parade, Sunny Valley grew quiet, basking in the warm evening glow. But suddenly, a sharp wind blew in from the south, swirling leaves and petals into the air. "Oh, what's that?" gasped Violet, pressing close to Daisy. "This isn't just any wind." Sunflower frowned. "It smells like pollen and trouble." Then, a flock of butterflies with shimmering wings appeared above the meadow. Behind them, buzzing urgently, came bees in their striped vests. "Help us!" cried the brightest butterfly, Brimstone. "The cruel wind carried our eggs into the dark forest." Without them, our kind will disappear, and our hive was destroyed by the storm," added Busby, her wings trembling. "We've lost our home and our queen," the flowers whispered anxiously. Even proud Rose bowed her head. "The dark forest. That's where the thorny bushes and angry ants live. How will we ever get there?" But Daisy was already nodding, as if piecing together a plan. "We can't abandon our friends in trouble. The butterflies will guide us. The bees will protect us from ants. And we'll light the way." The adventure began. Sunflower bent so low that his golden petals became a lantern. Rose bloomed brighter than ever, pushing back the shadows with her crimson glow. Bellflower rang to mark the path, while Dandelion scattered his parachutes like breadcrumbs. But the dark forest tested them at every turn. Thorny bushes blocked their way. "Hold on to my stem," called Mint, stretching out her flexible vines. The bees snipped the thorns, while butterflies shielded the flowers with their wings. Angry ants swarmed in attack. "Dinner is served," they hissed. But Busby rallied her sisters, and their furious buzzing sent the ants scurrying. The wind had hidden the butterfly eggs atop a dead tree. "I'll reach them," volunteered Bindweed. He coiled around the trunk like a ladder, while Violet cheered, "You can do it! Victory!" When the butterfly eggs and the bee queen were safe, the wind died down, as if ashamed, and back in the meadow, the bees built a new hive from Rose's petals and wheat stalks. Butterflies adorned it with pollen patterns, while lavender brewed calming tea for all. "You're not just flowers, you're heroes," said Brimstone, dancing in the moonlight. "And you're not just insects, you're family," smiled Daisy. "Even the most different creatures, big and small, bold and shy, can work miracles when they stand together. Friendship knows no bounds, like butterfly wings. It lifts us above every fear." Sunny Valley shone brighter than ever before. The flowers, bees, and butterflies decided to throw a grand friendship festival to celebrate their victory over the wind and the wicked ants. Daisy suggested, "Let's decorate the meadow. Everyone can contribute something special." "I'll make fragrant garlands," exclaimed Lavender, her purple blossoms scattering into the air, transforming into sweet-scented beads. "And I'll weave a carpet of petals," Violet said shyly, and everyone gasped when she revealed her pattern of lilac and white speckles. Meanwhile, the bees gathered nectar from across the valley, filling giant birch bark bowls. "This is our friendship honey," announced Busby. "Whoever tastes it becomes part of our big family." The butterflies started a dance flash mob, swirling through the air, painting rainbows with their wings. Even the serious sunflower couldn't resist swaying to the rhythm. Bellflower rang so brightly that the wind carried his melody through the entire forest. Rose invited everyone to the petals ball. Each flower tossed a single petal into the stream, making a wish. The water shimmered like liquid silver. Suddenly, fireflies, old friends of the butterflies, descended from the sky. They formed glowing letters, "Thank you, heroes," and showered everyone with golden pollen. It made the flowers glow from within, like tiny lanterns. "Look!" cried Dandelion. "Now we can shine even at night. A reward for our bravery," whispered Brimstone, her wings sparkling. They gathered in a circle, holding leaves and wings. Daisy suggested each say what they were grateful for. "I'm thankful for Rose's courage," said Violet. "And I'm grateful for Dandelion's cheerfulness," buzzed Busby. "Thank you, dear bees. Without you, we'd never have found our way home," bowed Sunflower. Then Mint treated everyone to magical dew tea, which made them speak the same language. Now, flowers, bees, and butterflies understood each other without words. The night sky lit up with a festival of lights, fireflies, glowing flowers, and Dandelion's parachutes created such a spectacle that even the stars drifted lower to watch. And by morning, the sun is rising. "Time for a new day," sang Bellflower. "But the festival of friendship never ends," smiled Daisy. "Joy shared with friends becomes 1,000 times brighter. And the greatest magic isn't golden pollen or glowing petals, it's the ability to say to one another, 'Thank you for being here.'" After the Friendship Festival, the flowers of Sunny Valley became inspired by a new dream to find the legendary Rainbow Waterfall, rumored to grant wishes to those who believe in magic. Daisy, Rose, Violet, Sunflower, and their insect friends set off on their journey, carrying a drop of enchanted dew from mint for good luck. The road was long. They crossed a stream on the back of a kind froggy croak, squeezed through a tunnel of ferns lit by fireflies, and finally heard the roar of falling water. "Look! There it is!" cried Brimstone, pointing to a cascade shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. The waterfall sparkled like a million diamonds, and at its feet lay a lake where the water changed hues every second. But their joy was short-lived. From behind the rocks emerged tourists, a family with 2 children, a girl of about 8 in a bright cap and her little brother, who immediately ran toward the water, shouting, "Wow! It's like a fairy tale." The flowers froze, afraid to reveal themselves. But then the unexpected happened. The boy stepped on bindweed, who yelped in pain. "Ow! What was that?" the child gasped. "I think these flowers are alive?" the girl, Alice, whispered, noticing Daisy's petals twitch. The flowers realized hiding was pointless. Sunflower gathered his courage and spoke. "We're from Sunny Valley. The rainbow waterfall is our treasure. Please, don't harm it." The tourists couldn't believe their eyes at first, but Alice said, "If you're real, prove it. Grant our wish." "The waterfall only grants wishes to those with pure hearts," Daisy explained, "but we can give you a chance. Find the key to the rainbow, 7 colored stones by the water. Arrange them right, and your wish will come true." The children rushed to search, but nothing went smoothly. The red stone was hidden under an old oak's roots, guarded by Grumpy Hedgehog. He only handed it over after Bellflower and Busby sang him a duet. The blue stone lay at the lake's bottom. Froggy croaked Dovefur Whilbees lit his way with their glow. The green stone was alive. A chameleon agreed to help, if the kids promised never to litter in the forest. When the last purple stone clicked into place, the rainbow waterfall blazed, and a bridge of light arched over the lake. "Make your wish," Violet whispered. Alice closed her eyes. "I wish all people would protect nature like you do." The waterfall thundered, and the rainbow shattered into glittering dust, transforming into golden butterflies. They landed on each tourist, leaving a flower-shaped mark on their palms. "This is your bond," said Rose. "Now you share our secret, but break your promise, and the butterflies will vanish." Before leaving, Alice asked, "Will we see you again? If your hearts stay kind, the rainbow waterfall will guide you back." Daisy smiled. That evening, the flowers, bees, and butterflies picnicked by the water. Sunflower mused, "Maybe not all humans are bad?" "Of course not," Bellflower chimed. "Friendship can even teach stones to sing. Nature reveals her magic only to those who love her. And even the most ordinary person can become a wizard if they learn to listen to the flowers' voices and the wind's whispers." Weeks passed after the meeting with Alice and her brother. The flowers of Sunny Valley noticed something alarming. The rainbow waterfall was losing its colors. Its streams grew dull, and the golden butterflies that once danced above the water now flickered weakly. "What's happening?" Daisy fretted. "Did Alice's wish stop working?" "No." Sunflower shook his head. "People have been kinder to the forest. I saw them cleaning trash by the stream." Suddenly, Brimstone fluttered down with urgent news. "Tourists are coming to the waterfall with big boxes, and that boy who stepped on bindweed is with them." The flowers hid behind rocks, bracing for the worst. But their surprise was immense when they saw Alice, her brother Maxim, and a scientist in glasses carrying a device that buzzed like an angry bee. "Dad, it's here!" Alice pointed at the waterfall. "This is where the talking flowers live." "Sweetheart, those are just legends." The scientist chuckled. "But I'll test the water. If there's an anomaly here, we'll build a research lab." Maxim noticed Daisy's leaves trembling and whispered, "We didn't mean for this." Dad insisted on checking himself. He doesn't believe in magic. The scientist collected water samples, snipped a piece of bindweed for study, and his machines hummed louder. With each passing minute, the waterfall dimmed, and the golden butterflies on the children's hands began vanishing. "We have to stop him," Rose whispered urgently. "But how? He can't hear us like Alice can." "Maybe the waterfall itself can help?" Violet suggested. It grants wishes. After all, the flowers gathered at the waterfall's base. Holding stems, Bellflower sang a mournful tune, and the water whispered back, to restore the magic. Hearts of humans and nature must beat as one. Alice, realizing what was happening, sprang into action. Dandelion scattered his fluff around the machines, clogging their gears. Bee stealthily retrieved bindweed's cut vine and brought healing nectar to mend it. Mint released an aromatic mist that made the scientist pause. Why does the air here feel so alive? Alice approached her father. Dad, you taught me that a scientist observes, not destroys. Look how perfect everything is without our machines. The scientist, struck by his daughter's words, removed his glasses and finally saw the golden butterflies alighting on his palm, their glow returning. Forgive me, he murmured to the flowers. I wanted to understand nature, not harm it. Then, the rainbow waterfall blazed back to life. The water shimmered violently, and butterflies formed a bridge between humans and flowers. For the first time, the scientist, now Dr. Igor, heard Daisy's voice. Study with your heart, not your hands. Nature will share her secrets willingly. Dr. Igor decided to create a nature reserve around Sunny Valley. Alice and Maxim became his junior helpers. They planted flowers with the bees, hung bird feeders with Owl, Sunflower's new friend. And instead of machines, Dr. Igor painted watercolors of magical spots, so others could admire without disturbing. Even grown-ups forget to listen to their hearts sometimes, but when wisdom and childlike sincerity unite, magic survives. Nature isn't an enemy or a resource, she's a friend waiting to be understood. A month after Dr. Igor and the children became guardians of Sunny Valley, Daisy had a new idea. Let's throw a celebration for all humans, so they can see how wonderful it is to be friends with nature. We'll call it the Kind Hearts Festival, Alice exclaimed. We'll invite neighbors, classmates, and even those who don't believe in magic. Preparations began. Lavender crafted fragrant invitation cards that fluttered through the air like butterflies to find their recipients. Bees and butterflies wove garlands from flower pollen that glowed in the dark. Sunflower grew twice his height to become a living stage, decorated by roses' petals. Dr. Igor and Maxim built eco-friendly swings from vines, while Alice taught Violet to paint signs, hug a tree, and it'll whisper thank you. Not just children arrived, but adults too. Aunt Zena, the neighbor who always yelled, flowers are just weeds. Grisha, a boy who broke branches just because. Even Postman Petchkin, yes, that Petchkin, now retired, grumbling, what nonsense is this festival of yours? The flowers grew nervous, but Daisy whispered, don't worry, kindness can melt even the coldest ice. To reach the main meadow, everyone had to walk the path of kindness. Help a hedgehog, reluctantly. Grisha placed an apple in a basket for the spiky guest, who suddenly spoke, thanks. You're not so bad after all. Break a stone's curse, Aunt Zena had to say 3 kind words to a rock. She huffed, but on the 3rd try muttered, sun, sky, daisies, and the stone transformed into a crystal butterfly that perched on her shoulder. Dance with the wind, a blushing Postman Petchkin spun with Dandelion, and his gray mustache turned pink from laughter. When everyone gathered, Alice announced, now, make a wish and release it to the sky. Guests wrote dreams on petals, which bees carried to the clouds. Suddenly, the sky lit up, wishes became colorful birds soaring overhead. But the real miracle happened when Aunt Zena approached Rose. I want to apologize. I thought beauty only came from stores. But here, everything's alive. Rose offered her a thorn. This isn't just a thorn. It'll remind you, even prickly things have hearts. Mid-celebration, the ground trembled, everyone gasped. But it was just the ancient oak from the forest's edge. Shuffling closer. I want to join too. Bring honey and songs. Children squealed, swinging on his roots, while Bellflower and Owl jammed a jazz concert, hooting in rhythm. At dusk, golden butterflies formed a giant orb above the waterfall. It plunged into the water and emerged as a glowing crystal in Alice's hands. This is the heart of the valley. It'll shine as long as kindness remains. Even Petchkin pocketed a crystal shard. and Grisha planted his first flower, a clumsy but very proud snowdrop. Kindness is like a seed, planted in any heart, even the thorniest, and it will grow, and the best celebrations are those that make the world just a little brighter. Several months had passed since the Kind Hearts Festival. The crystal heart of the valley glowed so brightly that its light reached neighboring villages. But one morning, Alice noticed it had dimmed to a faint flicker, like a dying star. "Papa, look!" she cried, shaking Dr. Igor awake. "The crystal is sick." "That's impossible," he muttered, but seeing the dulled stone, he grabbed his magnifying glass. "Cracks? How?" The flowers, bees, and butterflies gathered by the waterfall, whispering, "It's because of those new people," buzzed Busby. "They came yesterday and mocked our garlands." "No." Sunflower shook his head. "The crystal weakens when envy takes root in hearts." Then, a boy in a black jacket emerged from the trees, his face like stone. His name was Artyom, Alice's new classmate. "Did you ruin everything?" Maxim demanded, clenching his fists. "Me?" Artyom smirked. "You're the ones believing in nonsense. Stones aren't alive." But Daisy, risking being seen, spoke up. "The crystal mirrors our hearts. If it's fading, someone stopped loving the world." Artyom staggered back at the talking flower, then scowled. "You're all crazy. I'll prove there's no magic here." By dawn, the crystal was gone. Only footprints remained, leading to the Whispering Cave, a place even butterflies feared to enter. "Artyom took it," Violet cried. "I saw him go there with a lantern." "We must save it," said Rose. "But the cave is dark and terrifying." Alice insisted they stick together. For the journey, they brought firefly guides, mint for courage, dandelion, whose fluff could blind enemies. The cave was a trap for doubters. Every step conjured visions. Artyom saw the crystal as a mountain of candy until it turned to thorns. Alice watched the valley burn, but Daisy whispered, "Just shadows of fear." Dr. Igor met his childhood self, who'd dreamed of science but forgot fairy tales. Deep inside, they found Artyom. He sat clutching the crystal, now nearly black. "I just wanted to prove I'm not weak," he sobbed. "My parents say I'm worthless." The crystal spoke with the wind's voice. "Take my power, but your heart will turn to ice forever." Artyom trembled, but Alice took his hand. "You're not worthless. Coming here alone was brave." He opened his fingers, the crystal fell, then shattered into 1,000 sparks that embedded in the cave walls. The Whispering Cave became the Hall of Light. Each spark became a portal to someone's cherished memory. Artyom saw his mother laughing as she pushed him on a swing. Dr. Igor remembered planting an oak with his father. Even Rose relived Daisy protecting her from caterpillars. Outside, where the dulled crystal had been, now grew a crystal flower. Its petals shimmered with every color, its core pulsing with light. "It grows from our hearts now," Daisy whispered. "It can't be stolen, only broken." Artyom, no longer scowling, gave Alice a cave stone, a shard of courage. "I found it when I stopped being afraid." Even the darkest heart can shine when warmed by kindness. True strength isn't proving you're right, it's daring to be yourself. Sunny Valley thrived, people cherished nature, the crystal flower glowed brightly, and Artyom had become a true friend to Alice and Maxim. But one morning, Owl, the wise forest guardian, brought alarming news. An ice vortex approaches from the north. It freezes everything in its path. Even the rainbow waterfall won't withstand it. The ice vortex was born from human indifference, factories, deforestation, and anger had festered for years, and now nature retaliated with cold. The heroes gathered to plan. "We must unite all our strength," said Daisy. "Crystal, friendship, science, and magic, only together can we win." "I've built thermal devices," added Dr. Igor, "but they need energy, like the crystal flowers." "I know an ancient butterfly dance," recalled Brimstone. "It melts ice." Even Artyom had an idea. "At school, we studied how songs affect vibrations. What if we all sing together?" The vortex roared into the valley, turning flowers to ice statues. Rose barely shielded Violet with her thorns, while Sunflower bent over, protecting bee nests. "Activating generators," yelled Dr. Igor, but the devices sputtered against the cold. "Our turn now," sang Bellflower and Owl, their melody picked up by the children. Butterflies danced, creating heat waves, while bees clung to the crystal flower, channeling its light skyward. The ice vortex intensified, knocking the heroes down. Daisy, seeing their strength wane, whispered, "Crystal, take my energy." "And mine," added Rose. "Ours too," buzzed the bees. The crystal flower absorbed the valley's collective light and shattered, releasing a rainbow explosion. The ice vortex halted, shuddered, and transformed into a giant cloud flower, raining warm water. The rain melted the ice, reviving every leaf, but the crystal flower was gone, its dust settled on every living heart. "It's part of us now," said Alice, pressing a hand to her chest. "We are the crystals. And the vortex, it's not our enemy anymore?" asked Maxim. "No," smiled Owl. "It learned to love." Look! Where the vortex had been, a snow bloom grew, a symbol of balance between cold and warmth. "And mine," added Rose. "Ours too," buzzed the bees. The crystal flower absorbed the valley's collective light and shattered, releasing a rainbow explosion. The ice vortex halted, shuddered, and transformed into a giant cloud flower, raining warm water. The rain melted the ice, reviving every leaf, but the crystal flower was gone, its dust settled on every living heart. "It's part of us now," said Alice, pressing a hand to her chest. "We are the crystals. And the vortex, it's not our enemy anymore?" asked Maxim. "No," smiled Owl. "It learned to love." Look! Where the vortex had been, a snow bloom grew, a symbol of balance between cold and warmth. Sunny Valley became a sanctuary, where people came to learn from nature. Artyom became an ecologist like Dr. Igor. Alice and Maxim opened a school where children learned to speak with flowers. Even Aunt Xena grew a garden with talking tomatoes. They never stopped joking. And the ice vortex, now the gentle snow guardian, returned each winter to remind everyone, even cold has a heart. Just don't let it freeze. The world is fragile as a petal yet strong as friendship. The greatest trials can be overcome by uniting science and faith, courage and tenderness, adult wisdom and childlike spark. May we all become crystals, shining light, even in the darkest times. A year after defeating the ice vortex, Sunny Valley decided to throw a grand flower parade, not just for themselves, but for the whole world. "Let every blade of grass on earth know that kindness is stronger than any storm," declared Daisy, and all the flowers nodded in agreement, their petals quivering with excitement. Bees wove giant transparent balloons from spider silk and dew, capable of floating through the skies. Butterflies painted them with their wings, making them shimmer like rainbows. Dr. Igor and the children drew a world map, marking every place where vibrations of kindness should fly. Even the snow guardian, once the ice vortex, sent crystal bells from the north, their chime meant to melt the ice in people's hearts. At exactly noon, Bellflower rang out, and the parade began. Rose rode a chariot of wild roses, scattering crimson heart-shaped petals. Sunflower carried a solar lantern, lighting the way. Violet and Artyom, now best friends, held hands with little dandelion children, who puffed their cheeks adorably. Owl conducted an orchestra, bees buzzed the bass, grasshoppers chirped like violins, and the brook tinkled like castanets. When the parade reached the rainbow waterfall, everyone shouted in unison, 1, 2, 3, kindness, fly free. The crystal flower in their hearts blazed, and thousands of glowing balloons soared into the sky. They burst into sparks, forming words, friendship, peace, smile. Then, from every corner of the planet, birds arrived. Storks from Africa caught sparks in their beaks. Hummingbirds carried them to South America, trailing rainbow streaks. Penguins, yes, they swam here too, danced on icebergs, yelling, "Hey, we've got hearts too." Even sparrows chirped in every language. Look, a cactus bloomed in Siberia. Kids in Paris are hugging trees, Elephants in Africa are watering flowers. In deserts, gardens sprouted where cacti and roses debated who was prettier. In cities, people planted balcony flowers. And gruff Uncle Petya, the janitor next door, adopted a talking cactus named Gosha. In oceans, fish formed the word thanks, while dolphins gave jellyfish joyrides on their backs. When the balloons emptied, the birds brought gifts from the world. A jungle monkey offered a banana with a smiley face. A boy from Japan sent a paper crane inscribed "We're with you." A polar bear gave an ice cube that wouldn't melt because it was frozen joy. Daisy, gazing at the sky, whispered, "Now I know, we're not just flowers. We're bridges between hearts." Even the smallest act of kindness, like a seed, can crack through asphalt, and if everyone lights their spark, the whole world will glow brighter. Remember, you can start your own parade, smile, hug a friend, plant a flower, and the birds will surely tell the whole world about you. The flower parade ended, but its echo lingered in every corner of the earth. The vibrations of kindness, like invisible threads, wove together the hearts of people, animals, plants, and even distant stars into a single melody. Now, when a child waters a flower in a far-off land, Daisy in Sunny Valley spreads her petals a little wider. When an old man rescues a fledgling, the snow guardian in the north paints warmth across the sky. And when enemies join hands, the crystal flower deep in the cave emits a light visible across centuries. People realize that goodness isn't a grand feat, it's life's natural rhythm. Like breathing, that friendship needs no words, it lives in the quiet whisper of rain nourishing both rose and weed. That love isn't fire but sunlight, it doesn't scorch, but thaws even hearts long frozen. And the birds? They still fly continent to continent, but their songs now carry more than the parade's tale. They're reminders. You're not alone. Your smile is a wing lifting the world above storm clouds. Your tear is dew birthing a new bloom. And even if you feel like just a blade of grass in the wind, know this, somewhere, another blade reaches for the sun, because you exist. Life isn't a race but a round dance. Every one of us, human, flower, or bird, matters in this dance. As long as we don't sever the threads between us, goodness will endure. It doesn't vanish. Like a seed, it sleeps in the darkest depths, waiting to sprout even where least expected. And then, a new parade will begin, without fanfare, but with a quiet whisper, "Thank you for being here." If you ever hear a bell chime without wind or find a petal with a rainbow hue, know this, Sunny Valley is sending you a letter. Reply with kindness, and the parade will never truly end. My dearest friends, do you know why flowers whisper and fireflies carry secrets? Because the world is alive with stories, just like yours. Every time you giggle at a ladybug, or share your sandwich with a squirrel, you're adding magic to Sunny Valley's tale. Remember, you are the hero of your own adventure, brave as Rose, kind as Daisy, clever as Dr. Igor. Even tiny hands can move mountains, or help a snail cross a path. When you feel small, listen closely. The wind might be singing your name in butterfly language. Now, grab your imagination like a lantern and go explore. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow, you'll teach me a new secret about talking dandelions, with sparkles and sunflower hugs. Anna. P.S. If you ever spot a blue petal with golden dots, that's my secret hello from Russia. Blow it toward the nearest bumblebee, and make a wish. Copyright notice. Copyright 2025 Anna Gogoleva. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced, distributed, or transmitted in any form, including digital or print, without prior written permission from the author, except for brief quotations in reviews or critical articles. For permissions, contact the author through her official channels.